What's poppin', my Pokemon trainer friends and family all over the world? Today, I am bringing you some Ember Cup battles in a tournament that I was in the Border Warriors tournament, and this is the team that I was running. We have here, first, my Dedenne. This thing won me almost so many battles. This is my MVP, Dedenne. Don't sleep on it. If you have seen my short of Dedenne, you know what's to come. And of course, the moveset that we're running is the usual Thundershock, Discharge, Play Rough. And then, of course, we are running Hisuian, Quillfish. This thing is a staple in the meta. Pretty much every single team is going to be running Hisuian, Quillfish. The charge moves we are running are Poison Jab, Aqua Tail, and Shadow Ball. It's not the usual, of course, like in GBL, these aren't the movesets you want to be running, but you do want to have Shadow Ball for the Poliwrath matchup. And then I am running Primeape on the team, simply because I wanted a Pokemon that had access to counter, and you know that counter damage is just amazing. Counter is one of the best moves in Pokemon Go for PvP. And we are running Cross Chop and Ice Punch. And I am bringing Primeape on the team for the Poliwrath matchup, and also, of course, Piloswine. And I think I was able to get this Primeape during Mankey Go Battle League Day, where you could evolve a Mankey and get Cross Chop. And then, of course, we have Ice Punch for this Pokemon right here, for Gligar. We are running Gligar on the team, another staple in the meta. Pretty much every team is going to be running Gligar and Hisuian, Quillfish, and Poliwrath. And so for this, of course, we are running Wing Attack, Aerial Ace, and Night Slash on Gligar. I think on PvPoke it's ranked number 1 with Return. You do need a Purified Gligar, but I'm running this Gligar. It still puts in the work. Aerial Ace to take out Poliwrath, and then Night Slash for Pokemon like Runerigus and Marowak. And then, of course, we are bringing Piloswine on the team for that Ice-type damage for the Gligars and the Flyers. And the moveset I'm running is High Horsepower. Now, I'm showing you here that you could run Stone Edge. Stone Edge would be good up against the Flyers for mainly Charizard, because Charizard is going to be on everybody's team. I wanted to bring Charizard as well. However, I felt like, you know what, I think I would rather bring Gligar and go for a double fighter strat, which you will see my next Pokemon is Poliwrath, Wrath 9. And I thought this was a rank 9 Poliwrath a long time ago, but I rechecked the IVs and it's actually a rank 10. So I do got to change the name on my Poliwrath. But the moveset we are running is Mudshot, Scald, and Ice Punch. Not your typical moveset, right? You don't see this type of moveset in GBL, which is why I love the monthly Silpharina Cups, because you see Pokemon you don't normally see, or movesets that you don't normally run on those Pokemon. And so we are running Scald for the Fire-type Pokemon and Ice Punch for the Gligars and the Flyers that are running around, and potentially any Grass-type Pokemon that might be floating around in the meta, because Grass-type Pokemon are viable in this meta too. And I do use every single one of these Pokemon at some point in the tournament. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into round 1 fight. And we are going up against CSX TCD, and we catch an amazing lead. Piloswine up against Gligar. He does pivot out into Poliwrath, and I answer with Primeape. And this is the main reason why I did bring Primeape. Well, this one and Piloswine, we can take a Scald, and yes, it does a lot of damage, but as you will see, we are going to get to this Cross Chop. And then we are going to outpace to the second Cross Chop. So do they want to shield up or let it go down? He does shield up, which is fine with me. I'll take shield advantage, and he is able to Mudshot down. But now I am going to bring in Hisuian, Quillfish and attempt to Poison Jab down. We are unsuccessful, but we did get a Poison Jab through, so all I got to do is shield here and it faints. And then he brings in Charizard, but this is why Hisuian Quillfish is so good in this meta, because we have access to Aqua Tail, and look how much damage that little Aqua Tail did to Charizard. And then he does bring in Gligar, but Aqua Tail is going to do a lot of damage as well. And then I can bring back Piloswine into this matchup. and then go for this avalanche bang, and we're gonna one-shot this Gligar, take it down, and then Powder Snow down Charizard. GG's, homie, well played. And jumping into battle number 2, we catch an amazing lead yet again. Primeape versus Poliwrath. And like I said in the last battle, you guys know how I like to play this matchup. We are going to get to the first cross chop. They let it go through, and then he is going to get up to a Scald. And we are going to let the Scald go through because we can tank a Scald. And we outpace to the second cross chop. So now, do they want to shield up again or let this go down? He lets it go down, which is, I think, the better play. Just keep your shields, but I will keep switch. And then he brings in Piloswine, and now I have to think, should I bring my Piloswine or Quillfish? And I bring in Quillfish because we can't get to the Aqua Tail, but I have to shield this up because Hisuian Quillfish doesn't want to take an Avalanche. I mean, it can, but it does a lot of damage. So we will get to the Aqua Tail. He is going to shield up, and then we outpace to the second Aqua Tail. Hisuian Quillfish is just such an amazing Pokemon in this meta, which is why it's pretty much on everybody's team. And as you see, the Avalanche takes us out, but I'm going to let it go down because now I can bring in my Piloswine, and I am anticipating there being a Gligar in the bag, which is why I didn't bring Piloswine into the mirror match. Because I can let an Avalanche go through, and there it is. There's the Gligar, and of course we are going to get off another Avalanche bang, one-shot this Gligar out of the sky. GG's, homie, well played. And jumping into battle number 3, we catch another kind of positive lead. I mean, this matchup is kind of so-so because I get greedy here and we CMP tied to the charge move, and I'm like, I can take a Thunder Punch, but it's a wild charge and we get one-shotted. And I bring in Primeape, but he immediately swaps into Charizard. So I bring in Poliwrath, but this is no bueno for Chuck. I am going to shield up because nothing wants to take a Blast Burn, not even Poliwrath, but it's a bait. So I am going to bait myself as well with an Ice Punch, and we take the shield as well, but I am going to shield this up because it is the Blast Burn. And now I am going to overfarm and do something a little bit risky here. I'm going to go for a double bait, but he doesn't shield it up. And now we CMP tie, and it's pretty much GG's at this point. I told him in the chat, bro, you went Super Saiyan in this battle because we are going to get one-shotted yet again, and I'm not even going to be able to see the third Pokemon. Bang. Bang, bang. GG's, homie. Well played. And jumping into round 2, we are going up against Elm-1 Trandir. We are going into the heart of Mount Doom in the land of Mordor for the Ember Cup. I swap in Gligar because I caught a terrible lead. He swaps in Gliscor, and he gets the boost. He gets the boost on the first try, bro. Now I'm going to attempt to get my boost. Can I get the boost? Nope. Not I. Not I, said the fly. And now, at this point, I am going to try to get one more charge move off and then just let my Gligar go down. I am using Gligar as a safe swap up against his team because I did feel like Gligar would be good as a safe swap up against him. And now I do let it go down because now I can bring in Piloswine and start to Powder Snow down. But he does get to a charge move, and I have to shield this up because I'm not trying to take a boosted Earthquake. And now here, he brings in Electivire, but I do believe that this was either a misplay or an accidental switch, which does happen because I have done that many a time in my Pokemon Go career. And now here he goes for the Wild Charge and then Dip. And he brings in Poliwrath, and I answer with my Dedenne, the MVP. And Dedenne can take a Scald, so I am going to let a charge move go through. And then I have to get to the back-to-back discharges. So with Dedenne, you can take a charge move and then shield up once. And now we do have to get to the back-to-back discharges because 1, we got to take that shield. There's the shield. And then 2, we got to take out that Poliwrath. Is this enough to take out that Poliwrath? No, the tanky Poliwrath was able to take a discharge. Electivire comes back in. Can we get to the Play Rough? We get to the Play Rough. Dedenne is going to charge up and go for that Play Rough. Bang, bang, bang. GG's, homie. Well played. And jumping into battle number 2, we catch a positive lead. Dedenne up against Poliwrath. And now he tried to catch, but I was patient. And then he swaps in Gliscor, and I hard counter with Piloswine. My homie here is just getting hard countered up the wahoo. I have battled Elm-1 Trandir many times in the past seasons. And he gets the boost again! That is the second time he gets the boost, bro. He got the boost again. I don't even think I got the boost once in this entire tournament. I don't believe. Now he does bring in that Poliwrath, and we go for the high horsepower. High horsepower does a lot. I think it gets Poliwrath into the yellow. And now we bring back in Dedenne, the MVP. And of course, we're going to try to get to the back-to-back discharges. He shields up once, but we see MP tied there. Now I am going to shield up because I want to preserve the health on Dedenne. He gets the Scald and then swaps into that Electivire. And you already know Dedenne is going to go for this Play Rough. And bang! That does so much damage, bro. It gets Electivire into the red. And now, like I said, I can tank one move, even if it is a wild charge. He debuffs himself, and I bring in Gligar to farm down and get ahead on energy. That way we can get to the Aerial Ace and hit that Poliwrath with super effective damage. And Gligar is so tanky, we can also tank one charge move, whether it be Ice Punch or Scald. And now we wing attack down, take the second game. GG's, homie. Well played. And jumping into battle number 3, we catch a negative lead, a nightmare lead, so I am going to safe swap into Gligar. Gligar is my safe swap up against his team, and he answers with, of course, Gliscor, whatever. He answers with that thing yet again. If he gets the boost again, bro, I'm going to lose it. I am going to go for my Night Slash, and of course, we do not get the boost at all. And see, normally Gligar wins this matchup up against Gliscor, but if my opponent does get the boost, then of course they're gonna win. He gets off a Night Slash and he gets the boost! He gets the boost for the 3rd time. Each one of our battles, he got the boost. I didn't even get the boost once. And now here, I think I misplayed because I shield up because I wanted to keep Switch. But that was probably not the play because he does bring in Poliwrath, and I'm not even going to get the chance to click on the Aerial Ace. But I am going to bring in Dedenne, and he answers with a Alolan Marowak. And that thing right there, I was not anticipating the Alolan Marowak coming in. But that thing right there does core break my Piloswine and Dedenne combo. I guess he got tired of seeing my Dedenne and Piloswine and was like, you know what? I'm bringing in Alolan Marowak. I'm tired of these two because Alolan Marowak does core break Dedenne and Piloswine. And now, at this point, it's pretty much GG's, but this is not GBL. I can't just surrender. We got to play the matchup to the end. Dedenne is going to put up a fight, and you will see Dedenne does put up a fight, even up against Alolan Marowak and Hisuian Quillfish, because the thing is an MVP. It's a little tank. We do shield up once, and then he goes for the Poliwrath combo. He goes in, brings in Poliwrath, Ice Punch, bang. Bang, bang. We go down for the count in battle number 3. GG's, homie. Good games. And jumping into round 3, we are going up against Warrior JMac 5. We catch a positive lead. Dedenne, the MVP, up against Charizard, the other MVP of this cup. And now this is how I like to play this matchup. CMP tie to the charge move because you can shield up the blast burn and then either they shield up or they gotta let it go down. So he lets it go down to take shield advantage and then he brings in Electivire. And now Dedenne can actually tank any move, even a wild charge from Electivire, but Electivire cannot tank a Play Rough, as you will see. Bang, gets it all the way to a red, and then I'm immediately going to swap out into Hisuian Quillfish, attempting to snipe, but he answers with Poliwrath. And now what I'm going to do here is bait the Shadow Ball, attempting to get a shield. We get the shield, and now what I'm going to do here is go for a second bait, hoping that he thinks that I got to the Shadow Ball, and we take the second shield. That's what we wanted right there. We wanted to get both shields because now I can bring in my Poliwrath just to soak up any moves that his Poliwrath may have charged up to. And so Poliwrath here is just going to act as my damage sponge. I am just going to soak up all these charge moves. That way Dedenne can sweep up in the back. We are going to get some Scalds off, and then I am going to bring in Dedenne to snipe so I can get ahead on energy. And then we get to the discharge. We get to the discharge. Bang. Take it out. Take battle 1. GG's, homie. Well played. And hopping into battle number 2, we are leading Piloswine and he leads Poliwrath. That is a nightmare lead, so I immediately swap out into my safe swap, Hisuian Quillfish. And like I said, Hisuian Quillfish is probably the best safe swap in this entire meta. and he answers with his Hisuian Quillfish. So that's probably the best answer to Hisuian Quillfish safe swap. Another Hisuian Quillfish. And now what we are going to try to do here is win switch. This is our win con, was to win switch advantage in this battle. Because now I can let Hisuian Quillfish go down, and then I can align Dedenne to that Poliwrath. And you guys already know Dedenne is my MVP. It's a little tank. I can tank any one move from Poliwrath, and then he swaps into Gligar. And here I should have just immediately swapped into Piloswine, but we are going to get this play rough off, and then I'm going to swap into Piloswine, and I'm going to try to attempt to Powder Snow down. But that pesky Gligar gets to another Night Slash. And I am going to save my shields because we are going to Powder Snow down, and then we are going to go for a high horsepower. Do we get a shield? Of course we get a shield, because at this health range, high horsepower would have probably either got it down to the red or potentially KO'd. Now here I am going to shield up once because I want to take the second shield. And he's at a health range that he's got to use his second shield. And we see him P-tie there, so this is actually even better for us because now he's going to use up his energy. And I am going to bring in Dedenne to sweep up. We are going to get off this discharge, but we lag, and Dedenne goes Super Saiyan, and he goes for this final flash. GG's, homie. We take battle number 2. Well played. And now jumping into battle number 3 up against Warrior JMag 5. I am going in with the same exact team with the same lead, and we catch a Piloswine mirror match. And now here it looks like the game is lagging, but it's not the game. I do believe it is my screen recording that's sort of glitching. And the reason I know is because we are CMP tying to the Avalanche. So here we CMP tie yet again. And his Piloswine wins CMP because my Piloswine has like 1 point in the attack side. And now I bring in Dedenne, the MVP, because I'm trying to get ahead on energy. But I saw the Hisuian Quillfish typing, so I swap into mine, but he answers immediately with Poliwrath, and this is not looking good for us. So what I am going to do now is just go for the Shadow Ball. I'm not even going to bait here. So we go for that Shadow Ball, and we land the Shadow Ball, but at this point it's GG's because that Hisuian Quillfish is going to come back in. And like I said, it is pretty much GG's, but this is not Go Battle League because we are going to play this out. Dedenne is going to put up a fight, and you are going to see Dedenne put up a really good fight, even up against Hisuian Quillfish. We're taking super effective damage from the Poison Jab, but we do charge up quickly to the discharge. We take both shields, but we go down. GG's, homie. Well played. We take round 3. And now jumping into round 4, we are going up against Renton. And up until now, we are both undefeated. I believe we are both 3-0. But as they say in the boxing world, someone's O has got to go. And we do lose the lead. I bring in my MVP, Dedenne. And this meta is very RPS. It's very rock, paper, scissory. So if you do lose the lead, more than likely you are going to lose that matchup. And not always, of course, not always. You can still flip matches, as you will see in these battles. But yeah, it's very rock, paper, scissory. Not very many people were, happy with this meta, but it is what it is. These are my first battles back in the Soph Arena, and I was having fun as well. So now I bring in Piloswine, but he still has 2 shields. He hasn't shielded up anything. Hisuian Quillfish in the back is a very good, in this meta, as I've said, it's a very good safe swap. And I'm going to go for this Avalanche, take it out, but he still has that pesky Trevenant in the back. And I am realizing that Trevenant was a very good pick in this meta. But with all the Glygars running around, I didn't want to bring it. But maybe I'll bring it next time. I'm not sure. I am going to, if I do participate in another Ember Cup tournament, I am going to switch up my team around because there were some Pokemon that I liked. And he takes battle number 1. GG's, homie. Well played. And jumping into battle number 2, I'm going in with a try-hard team with a Hisuian Quillfish lead. But he wins the lead again with that Poliwrath. So I swap into my Poliwrath, and he brings in Trevenant. But we are running Ice Punch. And now I think Poliwrath wins this in the 0 shields, if I'm not mistaken. I do have to double check the stats or how this matchup plays out, but I do believe Poliwrath wins in the 0 shields, but my opponent does shield up once. And now I am going to bring in Gligar because we can wing attack down, but I think this is a Shadow Ball. Nope, it's a Seed Bomb. I do call the bait. And now do I shield up this one? I shield up this one, even if it is a Seed Bomb, which it is, because now it is in the range that we can wing attack down and come out with a lot of health. And he brings that Poliwrath back in, but I am running wing attack on Gligar. So he is going to shield up. He uses up his final shield. And now I shield up my Gligar as well, because I do have Hisuian Quillfish in the back. So I am going to get off this wing attack. And it does a lot of damage. And then I bring in Quillfish, but he has his own Quillfish in the back. So this is getting, you know, very close. These battles are very close as well. And the Poison Jab damage does add up. And I'm not sure if Poison Sting is worth running. I mean, it charges up faster than Poison Jab, but Poison Jab just does so much damage there. And now he is going to get off an Ice Punch, I believe. And this battle was so close. Can we wing attack down? We can't wing attack down. That pesky Poliwrath wins with 1 HP and a dream. GG's, homie. That was so close. Well played. And jumping into the final battle, yet again, we catch a negative lead. And like I said, this meta is very RPS, so if you lose the lead, more than likely you are going to lose the match, but that's not always the case, as you will see. This is why you never give up, and this is why you never surrender, and yada yada. You know the whole spiel, right? And now I do swap in Hisuian Quillfish because it is the best safe swap. Nothing actually hard counters Hisuian Quillfish in this meta, and that Aqua Tail threatens a lot of Pokemon, and that Poison Jab adds up. It does a lot of damage. And I have seen some people running Ice Beam on Hisuian Quillfish for the mirror match, and I have seen some people running Sludge Bomb as well for that stab damage. So it is kind of like a Swiss Army knife. You can run Hisuian Quillfish in many different ways in this meta, and it's still going to perform amazing. Now I am going to hit this Aerial Ace onto the Hisuian Quillfish. You don't want to go for Night Slash up against that thing. That is no bueno. And I have seen some people actually hitting the Shadow Ball up against the Hisuian Quillfish when they're running Trevenant, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure if that's the way you're supposed to play that. I will have to double check, but I think my last opponent does that. And now I farmed that Hisuian Quillfish completely down because now Primeape is going to get off these Ice Punches. This is how Primeape stole Christmas. If you haven't seen that video up on my channel, check it out. And we take the third battle, but my opponent takes round 4. GG's, homie. Well played indeed. And jumping into the final round up against Mr. Feldman. And these battles are definitely the hottest battles in the entire Ember Cup that I had in this tournament. As you will see, we win the lead here. Hisuian Quillfish up against Trevenant, and he goes for the Shadow Ball. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's the way you want to play that matchup because Seed Bomb is a little bit more energy efficient. And now we do get to the Aqua Tail, and we are able to win the matchup here by taking out that Trevenant, but he does have a Poliwrath in the back and he gets ahead on energy, but I am running the MVP to Dedenne. And now we can take a Scald, but you will see he gets the attack drop. He gets the attack drop, bro, and that's not good. That is no bueno. And I'm going to hit this Play Rough off on that Runerigus. And I do love that Runerigus pick. I have a shiny one. I may run that one in my next tournament. I have been team building for another tournament, and I think I am going to run Runerigus on that lineup as well because I did love how it performed in these battles up against Mr. Feldman. So he is going to shield up the Ice Punch, and we go down. And now that Runerigus has so much energy. I should have shielded up the Shadow Ball. I was trying to call the bait, but he hit me with the Shadow Ball. And now it's pretty much GG's for battle number 1. He's just going to go for these Sand Tombs, take both of my shields, and then just Shadow Claw down. GG's, homie. Well played. And jumping into battle number 2. I am leading the same lineup, the most try-hard lineup ever. Hisuian Quillfish, Gligar, and Poliwrath. And we do catch the Galvantula on the lead. He is going to go for the lunge. And then I am just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. I mean, I'm not sure if Aqua Tail would have taken it out because we were debuffed. And now he brings in Poliwrath, and I am going to immediately swap into Gligar because I'm not going to let that Poliwrath get too ahead on energy. And Gligar is a good safe swap up against his team. I actually didn't see that in the first battle, but Gligar is a good safe swap or a good lead up against his team. And he catches on the Runerigus. That was such a good catch because I even overfarmed trying to watch out for the switch. And he catches the Aerial Ace on Runerigus. And now I am going to let this go. It is the Sand Tomb. And I'm going to hit him with this Night Slash. This is going to do super effective damage. And then I am going to bring in Poliwrath again to get ahead on energy. And we get to the Ice Punch. Does he want to shield this up or let it go? He shields it up because now he can go for a Shadow Ball. I think that was enough for Shadow Ball, so I'm going to shield up just in case. But it's a Sand Tomb bait. And now he farms up. And this is another Sand Tomb, I believe, because it was a little bit too fast. He goes for another Sand Tomb. And then he brings in that Poliwrath. And I am double debuffed at this moment. So if he gets to a Scald, it's going to take out my Poliwrath. And he does get to a Scald. And this is going to take out my Poliwrath. And now it's getting close, because both of my Pokemon are in the red. And I want you guys to see what I do here. I am going to bring in, and then I catch onto the Hisuian Quillfish. He caught with his Runerigus, and I caught with my Hisuian Quillfish. And now I am going to bring in the Gligar, Wing Attack it down, and we get to the Night Slash. And we are going to take out this Runerigus with this Night Slash. Bang. Bang, bang. GG's, homie. Well played. And jumping into the final battle of the final round, round 5. And this is the spiciest battle ever, as you guys will see. I mean, this was the craziest battle. I even told him at the end, I was like, bro, that was the craziest battle in the entire tournament for me. And he was like, yeah, those were definitely crazy battles. Because we win the lead, and I go for a Night Slash bait, thinking he was going to shield up, but he lets it go, and I get the boost. I actually got the boost for the first time in this entire tournament, but it's not going to help me. Well, not really. He brings in Charizard, and I am loaded up. Now, does he want to shield this up? This is a boosted Night Slash. He lets it go through, and that did so much damage. And now I am going to get another Night Slash off, and this should be taking a shield. It does take a shield, because at this health range, it was probably going to KO. And he does Wing Attack down, and that Charizard is super, super loaded. Maybe I should have brought in Quillfish or Poliwrath here, because I called the Dragon Claw bait, but he went straight for the Blast Burn. And now Poliwrath comes in, and I'm thinking I could win because his Poliwrath is a little bit low, but he gets the attack drop on the first Scald, and that right there is the defining moment. That right there is how he wins. I get the Scald drop as well, back-to-back Scald drops, but his Scald was a full power Scald, so it did more damage on my Poliwrath. So at that moment, it was pretty much GG's, and now, and just to make matters worse, he gets off another Scald, right? And he gets the attack drop again, and this was just, there was nothing I could do. GG's, homie. Well played. GG's. And with that, the Border Warriors Season 5 tournament for the Ember Cup concludes. Shout out to Alfonso CP97 for being victorious. Shout out to you, my fellow Pokemon trainer, for winning the tournament. And shout out to all the other trainers who participated in this tournament. Their names are there on the left, as well as mine. My name's there as well. So shout out to everybody for joining this tournament. And I will put a link in the description down below for the Border Warriors Telegram. If anybody wants to join for any future tournaments, because they do give out amazing prizes. I think in this tournament, the first place and second place, we're getting the official Ember Cup badge pin, which is my favorite thing to get because it makes it feel like a real life Pokemon situation, you know, where you go and you win a tournament or whatever, you win a battle and then you get a badge. And so they do give out badges. So I think first place and second place, we're getting the official Ember Cup badge. And then first, second, and third place, we're getting money. And also a Pokemon card was being raffled off. So I will put a link in the description if anybody wants to join. And I didn't perform too bad. I went 3 wins, 2 losses as usual. It's the same in GBL. I always get 3 wins, 2 losses. And I didn't perform too bad. I am a little bit rusty. It is my first time back in the Silph Arena in about a year. And I didn't do any battles last year because I was dealing with the loss of my dad. So I didn't do any battles last year at all. But it does feel good to be back in the Silph Arena. I do love these kind of monthly monthly cups. It's a lot of fun. And it is the beginning of, I believe, Season 5 in the Sylph Arena. It is very early on. The season just began. And so I do hope that these battles do help you, or if they were informative in any way to help you or prepare you for your future Ember Cup battles. And if it was, please thumbs up the video. Please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you all in the next one, in the battlefield or in the ring. Ding, ding. Peace out, my fellow trainers.